Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adrielle, and I am currently narrating a story of my life dating back from January 2016. In the previous episode, I talked about the month of November 2020, of how I was struggling to pay for my rent. But at the end of the day, my mom and Ruby came through for me, and I was really I was really anxious when it came to my finances at that point. So in this episode, I am going to talk about the rest of the month of November and talk a little bit about December as well. So here it goes. So it is November 15th. Now at this point, I'm just like, okay, I need to get a job. This is not a game. This is serious. I really need to get a job. My finances are at stake. Just have to change. I can't wait for London, right? So at this point, I was listening to this guy on YouTube. He would basically put out videos like 3 times a day about like stimulus package, PUAs, anything about COVID relief financial assistance programs. Like he would put it out there and share the information. So this particular day, November 15th, he put out a video and says, hey, if you live in the city of Atlanta, they have a program for rental assistance. They would pay your rent for, I think, a couple of months or so. So I immediately went on my laptop and did research about it. So I did research about it, and it was actually true. So yeah, the city of Atlanta was giving out rental assistance for the residents in the city of Atlanta. Now, here's the thing. I lived in Dunwoody, right? So with my address, anytime I would put my address, like probably like on Google Maps or whatever, Dunwoody and Atlanta would pop up as the city. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I may qualify for this program because my, address pops up as Atlanta. So I went to the website, looked at all the zip codes that were, basically qualified for the program. My zip code was not part of those zip codes. So I'm like, okay, man, I do not qualify. Now, even though I did not qualify, I still did fill out a form just to see, what would happen. Nothing did happen from that. But I was very grateful I got the information because, y'all, I really didn't know about rental assistance programs that were going on during that time. So I started doing a lot of research about rental assistance programs in the city of Dunwoody and other neighboring cities as well, and also my county as well. It's November 21st. November 21st, I go out to get some food, and for some reason, there was just a lot of traffic. So I was out for a very long time, probably up until like 8 o'clock that night. I get back home and I am checking Brandon on my burner account. I check on him, and he had some, posts from November 14 and stuff like that, which were like workout videos. He had a story that day. I clicked on his story, and it was a picture of his shoe and the person's shoe that was next to him. The person who was next to him had on Vans and a long scarf on their neck. So here's the thing with that, y'all. I was hyper analyzing that particular story. And the reason why, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous talking about this. I was I was hyper analyzing that particular story because I truthfully believe that the person wearing the Vans was a woman. So my heart started to sink a little bit. I remember like screenshotting that story, looking at it so many times. The scenery, they were outside, and I honestly believed it was a woman. And honestly, too, another thing I've noticed with social media is that there is a trend, or maybe there's just people who do this thing. But I noticed that there are people who, when they are in a relationship and they don't want people to know that they're in a relationship, they would take pictures of their partner's feet, their partner's arm, like they're basically letting people know that, hey, I'm with someone, but I don't know, want y'all to know who I'm with. And I felt like that was what Brandon was doing. Like, I'm not going to show you her face, but I'm going to show you her feet. I'm going to show you her vans. I'm going to show you all of that, but I'm not going to let you know who the actual person is. And I just remembered, just people doing that in social media. And I just felt like Brandon was doing that at that time. So now my heart is sinking because I'm like, okay, this is something that I kind of feared, that Brandon was seeing someone. That was the reason why he was MIA from social media. And that IG post was low key confirming that he was with someone. I got so in my head about the situation that I decided to deactivate my burner account. So my personal account and the burner account were both deactivated, and I was off of Instagram because I told myself, hey, if I don't see anything, I don't have to be paranoid about anything, right? So that was my mindset. November 26th was Thanksgiving. I stayed behind. My parents wanted me to stay behind because of the whole vid situation. They didn't feel comfortable with me traveling. So I'm like, okay, I'll just make some turkey and food for myself in my apartment. November 29th, I go back on my burner account because I'm itching to know more information of who this mystery Vans person is. I go back and Brandon's posting like ads that he had, sponsorships, and I see him driving a car that wasn't his car. I'm like, okay, what is going on? I also see him, when I say see him, I'm talking about his IG stories. I also see an IG story of him. It's a boomerang of him and someone else. They were drinking an energy drink and they basically cheers the drink. Now, here's the thing, the person who was next to him that they were doing that on the boomerang, I looked at the person's hand, it was a white hand. So, and it also looked like a woman's hand too, as well. So I'm like, okay, could this be the Vans person that I saw a couple of days ago? Now, mind you, the only person who I can think about in my head at this point was Caitlyn. Caitlyn was someone who wore Vans, and Caitlyn was the only white girl I knew he interacted with because honestly, y'all, Brandon's type was black girls and Nami's type was white girls. Now I'm gonna get into that way later on in the story, but Brandon had a type to be with black girls, and from what I knew, Caitlyn was the only white girl he was with. So when I saw that boomerang, it's like telling me, like, yo, this is Caitlyn. Like, him and Caitlyn got back together. This is what it's telling me. So now I'm having anxiety. I'm like, hey, one of my biggest fear is happening right before my eyes. I can see the evidence, but I'm like, hey, Adriel, you just never know. You never know. Don't jump into conclusions. It could be anybody. And that was basically what happened in the month of November. I'm going to talk about a couple other things that happened. At this point, my Wi Fi was disconnected or was supposed to be disconnected because I wasn't, able to pay for it. I got refunded my $400 from my first application, and my apartment complex had sold their property to new management. So that was basically what happened in the month of November. Next video, I'm going to talk about December, and y'all, my biggest fear of Caitlyn and Brandon being back together, it was really, really creeping in, creeping in, creeping in, creeping in the month of December 2020. So if you are liking an unlikely story, please comment, subscribe, click the notification bell as well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.